Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Lalima Aneja Dang with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate on second and concluding day of 14th BRICS Summit hosted by China in virtual mode today. NDA's presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu files her nomination in the presence of Prime Minister Modi, several union ministers and chief ministers of BJP-ruled states. Indian Air Force begins registration for recruitment of first batch of Agniveers under Agnipath scheme. Cyber, information and space domains becoming new battlefields, says Air Chief Marshal Vivek Ram Chaudhary. Supreme Court dismisses Zakia Jafri's plea, challenging SIT's clean chit to 64 people, including then Chief Minister Narendra Modi, in 2002 Gujarat riots case. European Union grants candidate status to Ukraine, Moldova and Georgia. Union Minister Anurag Thakur inaugurates two-day National Conference of Sports Ministers of States and Union Territories at Kevadia in Gujarat. And four-day Sindhu Darshan Yatra begins in Ladakh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be attending the ongoing 14th BRICS Summit, which is being hosted by China on the second day in a virtual mode today. Mr. Modi will be attending a high-level dialogue on global development. Addressing the summit virtually on the first day yesterday, Prime Minister Modi stressed that mutual cooperation among BRICS member countries can make a useful contribution in the global post-COVID recovery. The BRICS group comprises Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa.
आपकी टीम से मिले सहयोग के लिए भी मैं धन्यवाद व्यक्त करना चाहता हूं। एक्सेलेंसी, लगातार तीसरे वर्ष हम कोविड महामारी की चुनौतियों के बीच वर्चुअल रूप में मिल रहे हैं। हालांकि वैश्विक स्तर पर महामारी का प्रकोप पहले की तुलना में कम हुआ है, लेकिन इसके अनेक दुष्प्रभाव अभी भी वैश्विक अर्थव्यवस्था में दिखाई दे रहे हैं। वैश्विक अर्थव्यवस्था की गवर्नेंस के बारे में हम ब्रिक्स सदस्य देशों का नजरिया काफी समान रहा है और इसलिए हमारा आपसी सहयोग वैश्विक पोस्ट कोविड रिकवरी में उपयोगी योगदान दे सकता है।
The Prime Minister asserted that the BRICS member countries have a very similar approach regarding the governance of the global economy. He stated that cooperation in several areas has benefited the citizens of the member countries.
पिछले वर्षों में हमने ब्रिक्स में कई संस्थागत सुधार किए हैं, जिनसे इस संगठन की प्रभावशीलता बढ़ी है। यह भी प्रसन्नता का विषय है कि हमारे न्यू डेवलपमेंट बैंक की सदस्यता में भी वृद्धि हुई है। ऐसे कई क्षेत्र हैं जहां हमारी आपसी सहयोग से हमारे नागरिकों के जीवन को डायरेक्ट लाभ मिल रहा है, जैसे वैक्सीन R&D सेंटर की स्थापना, कस्टम डिपार्टमेंट्स के बीच समन्वय, साझा सैटेलाइट कंसल्टेशन की व्यवस्थापना, फार्मा प्रोडक्ट्स का पारंपरिक रिकॉग्निशन का आदि। इस तरह के प्रैक्टिकल कदम ब्रिक्स को एक यूनिक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय संगठन बनाते हैं, जिसका फोकस सिर्फ बातचीत तक सीमित नहीं है।
The leaders of Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa discussed the status of diverse political, economic, cultural and humanitarian cooperation yesterday during the BRICS summit amid the ongoing geopolitical tumult. The Beijing declaration issued after the summit said member countries welcome the high-level dialogue on global development at this summit as a testimony to the open and inclusive nature of BRICS partnership, including BRICS outreach and cooperation with other emerging economies. NDA's presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu today filed her nomination at Parliament House complex. She filed her nomination in the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Ministers Rajnath Singh, Amit Shah and Nitin Gadkari, BJP President JP Nadda and Chief Ministers of BJP and NDA-ruled states, along with leaders of NDA allies. Ms. Murmu filed 4 sets of nomination papers. Besides the Prime Minister, Union Ministers Rajnath Singh, Amit Shah and BJP President JP Nadda are among the signatories on the nomination papers. Ahead of the nomination, the BJP and NDA leaders gathered in Parliament House complex and marched with Ms. Murmu and Prime Minister Modi to the Rajya Sabha Secretariat for nomination. YSR Congress's Vijay Sai Reddy and Biju Janata Dal leader Sasmit Patra were also present on the occasion. Several parties, including the Janata Dal United, Odisha's ruling Biju Janata Dal Party and Andhra Pradesh's ruling YSR Congress Party, have extended support to the NDA presidential nominee. Our correspondent reports that Ms. Murmu spoke to Congress President Sonia Gandhi, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and NCP Chief Sharad Pawar, seeking their party's support for her candidature. Opposition candidate Yashwant Sinha will file his nomination on the 27th of this month. The last date for filing of nominations is the 29th of June. The polls will be held on the 18th of July and the counting of votes will be taken up on the 21st of next month.
The registration process for recruitment of the first batch of Agniveers in the Indian Air Force under the newly launched Agnipath scheme has begun. As per the notification released by the Indian Air Force, the online registrations for Agniveers began from 10 this morning. Interested candidates can apply for the recruitment process online on the official website at agnipath.viu.cdac.in. I repeat, agnipath.viu.cdac.in. Minister of State for Defence Ajay Bhatt said the youth who are interested in joining the army may begin registering themselves from today.
एयरफोर्स में यानी कि वायु सेना में आज से प्रार्थना पत्र देना प्रारंभ हो गया है। आप कोई भी हमारे युवक सीधे ऑनलाइन अपना प्रार्थना पत्र दे सकते हैं और उसके लिए बाकायदा पोर्टल है। उसमें कहीं से कहीं शंका करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। इसी प्रकार से आर्मी हमारी जुलाई के प्रथम सप्ताह से आवेदन लेना प्रारंभ होगा। जैसा पहले कहा है, तीनों जो हमारे अंग हैं सेना के, तो उसमें अपॉइंटमेंट होने, नियुक्ति होनी प्रारंभ हो जाएगी। तो इसमें जो कहीं पर भी हमारे जवान, हमारे युवक देश प्रेम के लिए समर्पित हैं, सभी लोग जो उसमें ऑनलाइन अप्लाई करना चाहें तो आज से एयरफोर्स में प्रारंभ करें।
There is no change in the process of induction, entry-level qualification and examination syllabus. All enrollments in Air Force will take place only through Agniveer Vayu. Online exam will be conducted at 250 centres across the country from the 24th of July to the 31st of July. Recruitment process will be completed by the end of this year. Air Chief Marshal Vivek Ram Chaudhary has said the Indian Air Force needs to reassess its strategic priorities and actions in times of a rapidly evolving international order. He said coercion is the new strategy, with cyber, information and space domains becoming new battlefields. Air Chief Marshal Chaudhary was delivering the keynote address at the capstone seminar of the First Warfare and Aerospace Strategy Program in New Delhi today.
Today, the capstone seminar participants will be making presentations on two broad themes that relate to Indian security. The themes involve assessing the role of air power in the ongoing Ukraine conflict and revisiting the doctrinal and strategic precepts to establish the role of air power in India's national security. Today we are witnessing a rapidly evolving international order that is increasingly being challenged by a complex multipolar world, with little or no regard to rules or to the traditional processes of geopolitical interplays. Diplomacy, economy and information are becoming the primary tools of engagement, with the military instrument being used as a deterrent.
Our correspondent reports that the First Warfare and Aerospace Strategy Program, designed by IAF to enhance strategic thought and critical thinking among its mid-level officers, culminated in the capstone seminar today. This 3-month-long program was conceptualized with an aim to increase intellectual power of the officers of IAF, who can blend knowledge across domains for generating ideas at the strategic level and guide policies.
The Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir will host the 2023 meetings of the G20, an influential group of the world's major economies. The Union Territory government has set up a 5-member high-level committee for overall coordination of the meetings. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal was appointed as India's Sherpa for the G20 in September 2021. According to the Ministry of External Affairs, India will hold the G20 presidency from the 1st of December this year and convene the first G20 Leaders Summit in 2023. India's representation at G20 summits has been led by Prime Minister Modi since 2014. The News Services Division of All India Radio will bring the next episode of special series Jammu Kashmir Ek Nayi Subha in the Spotlight section tonight. This episode is titled Shri Amarnath Ji Yatra Utsah aur Umang and will focus on the various aspects of the upcoming Shri Amarnath Ji Yatra scheduled to begin from the 30th of this month. This special program can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. onwards.
बर्फ से ढके पहाड़,
हवा के साथ झूमते चीड़ चिनार,
झीलों पर तैरते शिकारे,
हरी भरी घाटियों के दिलकश नजारे।
आकाशवाणी समाचार आपके लिए लेकर आया है जम्मू कश्मीर विशेष श्रृंखला एक नई सुबह।
हम बात करते हैं विकास की, निवेश की,
पर्यटन की, संस्कृति की
और रोज हो रहे बदलावों की। FM गोल्ड पर सुनिए हर शुक्रवार रात 9:15 पर आकाशवाणी समाचार की विशेष प्रस्तुति
जम्मू कश्मीर एक नई सुबह।
The News Services Division of All India Radio will bring an interview with India's preeminent cephalogist and Chairman and Managing Director of Axis My India Limited, Pradeep Gupta, tonight. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu released a book, Modi at 20, Dreams Meet Delivery, last month. The book is a compilation of 21 articles by 22 domain experts, bringing out various aspects of the thinking and performance of the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, in various domains as Chief Minister of Gujarat and later as Prime Minister of India. Mr. Gupta, who contributed a chapter, Changing Elections and Electioneering Forever, in the book, discussed the themes of his chapter in the book with AIR News.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ये सुनिश्चित किया कि टेक्नोलॉजी को सबसे फोर फ्रंट पे रखने की जरूरत है। यदि हमको ग्लोबल मार्केट में या ग्लोबल सिनारियो में सरवाइव करना है तो बिना टेक्नोलॉजी के आप नहीं कर सकते हैं। आप यदि अमेरिका देखते हैं जहां भी है आज, तो उसका सबसे बड़ा श्रेय टेक्नोलॉजी। उन्होंने मैन्युफैक्चरिंग तो बहुत पहले बंद कर दी। तो इन सब मामलों में मोदी जी की जो समझ है, टेक्नोलॉजी को उन्होंने सबसे अधिक प्राथमिकता दी है। टेक्नोलॉजी से वो जानते हैं कि ट्रांसपेरेंसी भी आती है, स्पीड भी आती है और काम पक्का होता है।
This interview can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. Amid the deepening political crisis in Maharashtra, a crucial meeting of senior leaders of Shiv Sena and NCP was held in YB Chavan Centre in Mumbai this morning. Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Raut, Anil Desai and Home Minister Dilip Walse Patil attended the meeting. While speaking to reporters, Mr. Sanjay Raut expressed confidence of winning the political battle in Maharashtra either in the floor test or on road. He said that the MLAs were given enough time to think over their decision and now the time is over. On the other hand, BJP leader Praveen Darekar and other senior leaders have gathered at the residence of Leader of Opposition in the Legislative Assembly, Devendra Fadnavis, in Mumbai. Meanwhile, Deputy Speaker of the Legislative Assembly, Narhari Zirwal, has approved the appointment of Ajay Chaudhary as the group leader of Shiv Sena and Sunil Prabhu as the chief whip of the party. Mr. Eknath Shinde has termed it illegal and said that they will approach the High Court to challenge this decision. In Assam, rebel leader Eknath Shinde is holding a meeting with other rebel Shiv Sena MLAs in Guwahati. The Shinde camp has claimed to have support of at least 48 legislators, including some independent MLAs. 2 to 3 more MLAs are likely to reach Guwahati today, as claimed by the group. Meanwhile, Guwahati police detained a Shiv Sena worker from outside the hotel today. He was holding a placard appealing rebel leaders to return to the party fold.
The monsoon session of the Bihar State Legislature began today. The House was adjourned till Monday after paying tributes to those leaders who passed away during the intercession period. The 5-day session will be held till the 30th of this month. Health Minister Mangal Pandey presented the first supplementary budget of the current financial year in the Assembly. In Assam, the flood situation has improved in the districts of Brahmaputra Valley due to good weather conditions. However, the situation still remains critical in the Borak Valley. Rescue operations are underway in the valley by various agencies. Essential food items are being airdropped by the Air Force. Nearly 2.85 lakh people are staying at relief camps across the state. Overall, 45 lakh people have been affected in 30 districts during the last 24 hours. 7 persons died due to flood-related incidents in this period. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said the centre is continuously monitoring the flood situation in Assam and is working closely with the state government to provide all possible assistance.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. Here's a reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate on second and concluding day of 14th BRICS Summit hosted by China in virtual mode today. NDA's presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu files her nomination in the presence of Prime Minister Modi, several union ministers and chief ministers of the BJP-ruled states. Indian Air Force begins registration for recruitment of first batch of Agniveers under the Agnipath scheme. Cyber, information and space domains becoming new battlefields, says Air Chief Marshal Vivek Ram Chaudhary. Supreme Court dismisses Zakia Jafri's plea challenging SIT's clean chit to 64 people, including the then Chief Minister Narendra Modi in 2002 Gujarat riots case. European Union grants candidate status to Ukraine, Moldova and Georgia. Union Minister Anurag Thakur inaugurates 2-day national conference of sports ministers of states and the union territories at Kevadia in Gujarat. And 4-day Sindhu Darshan Yatra begins in Ladakh. But for quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
Welcome back to the Midday News. The Supreme Court has dismissed a plea filed by Zakia Jafri, widow of former Congress leader Ehsan Jafri, challenging a clean chit given by the Special Investigation Team (SIT) to 64 people, including the then Gujarat Chief Minister Narendra Modi, in the 2002 Gujarat riots case. Pronouncing the judgment, a bench consisting of Justices A.M. Khanvilkar, Dinesh Maheshwari and C.T. Ravi Kumar upheld the Special Metropolitan Magistrate's order rejecting Jafri's protest petition against the closure report filed by the SIT. While dismissing the petition, the Apex Court also held that the petition was devoid of merits. Zakia Jafri is the wife of Congress MP Ehsan Jafri, who was killed during the violence at Gulbarg Society in Ahmedabad in 2002. Union Minister of State for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship Rajiv Chandrasekhar today inaugurated a national conference on the development of the space startup ecosystem in India. The conference is being held in Bengaluru. In his inaugural speech, Dr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar said over the last 8 years, a conducive ecosystem has been created for private industries to flourish in the areas of artificial intelligence, space science, semiconductor and fintech sectors.
Over 196 crore 77 lakh vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry has said that a total of 17,336 new cases were recorded in the last 24 hours. The recovery rate is currently at 98.59%. India has dispatched 27 tons of emergency relief assistance in 2 flights for the people of Afghanistan in the wake of the tragic earthquake. The relief assistance consists of essential items including family ridge tents, sleeping bags, blankets and sleeping mats. The relief consignment will be handed over to the United Nations Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs and Afghan Red Crescent Society in Kabul. Meanwhile, Islamic Emirate officials said the death toll from Wednesday's devastating earthquake in Afghanistan's Paktika and Khost provinces has risen to about 1,100 and the number of injured has risen to 1,600. The United Nations World Food Programme, WFP, has deployed food and logistics equipment in Afghanistan to support communities devastated by the earthquake. The European Parliament has voted overwhelmingly to grant European Union candidate status to Ukraine and Moldova. European Council President Charles Michel made the announcement yesterday after discussions among leaders of the European Union's 27 member states. The vote was 529-45 with 14 abstentions. The European Parliament also approved European Union candidacy for Georgia. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky termed this as a historic moment in Ukraine-European Union's relations, and Ukraine's future is within the European Union.
And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
We remember nationalist historian Vishwanath Kashinath Rajwade, who was born on the 24th of June 1863 in Raigad district of Maharashtra. Popularly known as Itihasacharya Rajwade, Vishwanath is considered to be one of the first historians to undertake an immense research of glorious Maratha history by visiting hundreds of villages and historical places all over India and gathering thousands of was greatly influenced by scholarly teachers like Ramakrishna Gopal Bhandarkar, Vishnu Shastri Krishna Shastri Chipronkar, lexicographer, Parshuram Tatya Godbole, and Kavya Itihas Sangrahakar Sane. However, he was a big critic of the model of higher education in India, which, according to him, did not help original thinking or research.
Rajwade did not seek British employment, which he considered was indirect slavery. He started translating world classics in Marathi and started a monthly called Bhashantar. Through the magazine, he brought works of Western philosophers and scholars such as Plato, Aristotle and Edward Gibbon, and also Indian scholars like Shankaracharya in Marathi.
Rajwade was a rare combination of a researcher, history grammarian, social scientist and etymologist. He was unhappy with Maratha history books written by British historians that tried to establish conqueror's view of subjugated people. Rajwade wanted to present an unbiased point of view. To this end, he toured the whole of Maharashtra region and studied art, architecture, iconography, social life, language, literature, customs and folk traditions of the region. He published 22 volumes of Marathancha Itihasachi Sadhane, Sources of the History of Marathas.
He got the oldest commentary on Gyaneshwari and brought out its earliest grammatical form. He edited Radha Madhav Vilas Champu by Jairam Pinde, dating to Chhatrapati Shivaji's father's time, which has special bearing on the history of contemporary Karnataka. He explored etymology, the study of the origin of words, and discovered several old rituals and practices.
In 1910, Rajwade founded Bharat Itihas Sanshodhak Mandal at Pune and kept all his works and historical papers in the custody of the Mandal. A sage-like scholar known for austere habits and long hours of work and incessant travelling, Rajwade died on the 31st of December 1921. AIR News salutes the great nationalist. We also remember Martyr Ranjit Singh, who was born on the 24th of June 1924 at Ludhiana, Punjab. Initially, Singh served in the British Indian Army, but joined the Indian National Army in 1942 in Singapore and served as sepoy in the Gandhi Brigade. Ranjit Singh confronted the Allied forces in Arakan, Myanmar and died fighting them in 1944. AIR News salutes the brave son of the soil.
We also remember Kamruddin Khan, who participated in the First War of Indian Independence.
Khan was captured by company troops in the course of their attacks and put on trial for aiding and abetting the rebellion against the British. He was sentenced to imprisonment for 10 years with hard labour in iron. Kamruddin Khan died in captivity on the 24th of June 1859 in the Andaman Islands. We salute the brave son of the soil.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
The much-awaited 4-day Sindhu Darshan Yatra began at Sindhu Ghat in Sheh village of Leh in Ladakh today after a 2-year break owing to the COVID pandemic. On the first day of the Yatra, hundreds of pilgrims took a dip in the Sindhu River. Ladakh Lieutenant Governor R.K. Mathur inaugurated the Yatra by hoisting a national flag at the Ghat. On the occasion, Mr. Mathur also released a 50 rupee worth commemorative envelope with Sindhu Ghat and snow-covered mountains in the backdrop, celebrating the 26th edition of the Sindhu Darshan Yatra. Addressing the pilgrims, Mr. Mathur said India has a culture of respecting rivers. He appealed to them to keep Sindhu River and the environment clean during the Darshan Yatra.
Today is the International Day of Women in Diplomacy. The aim for the day is to promote full and equal participation of women at all levels of diplomacy. The day is being observed across the globe for the first time after the adoption of a resolution in the United Nations General Assembly on Monday, the 20th of June this year, to designate June the 24th of each year as International Day of Women in Diplomacy. The Sensex now. Well, the Sensex and the Nifty today gained more than 0.5% in the afternoon trade. Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange climbed 398 points to trade at 52,664. Nifty at the National Stock Exchange was trading 129 points up to trade at 15,685 when reports last came in. In the Forex market, the rupee appreciated marginally by 1 paise to trade at 78 rupees and 31 paise against the US dollar in afternoon deals.
Union Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports Anurag Thakur inaugurated the 2-day National Conference of Ministers of Sports of States and Union Territories at the Statue of Unity at Kevadia in Gujarat this morning. The conference will deliberate and discuss the way forward for a unified approach to strengthen sports in India. The representatives of various states will also make presentations on Khelo India scheme during the conference. In the Ranji Trophy final, Madhya Pradesh were 280 for the loss of 2 wickets in their first innings against Mumbai on the third day today when reports last came in. Earlier, Mumbai finished their first innings at 374 against Madhya Pradesh at M. Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru.
A look at the weather now. Well, the national capital, Delhi, is expected to have mainly clear sky. Mumbai is likely to have generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Chennai expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Srinagar, Jammu and Muzaffarabad are expected to have mainly clear sky. Imphal, Kohima, Aizawl and Agartala are likely to have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate on second and concluding day of 14th BRICS Summit hosted by China in virtual mode today. NDA's presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu files her nomination in the presence of Prime Minister Modi, several union ministers and chief ministers of BJP-ruled states. Indian Air Force begins registration for recruitment of first batch of Agniveers under Agnipath scheme. Cyber, information and space domains becoming new battlefields, says Air Chief Marshal Vivek Ram Chaudhary. Supreme Court dismisses Aqia Jafri's plea challenging SIT's clean chit to 64 people, including then Chief Minister Narendra Modi in 2002 Gujarat riots case. Union Minister Anurag Thakur inaugurates two-day National Conference of Sports Ministers of States and UTs at Kevadia in Gujarat. And with that, we end the midday news.